Okay, this is MXUX. This is the history of a Stargate project that's in trouble. This is about a $50 billion plant installation they're looking at here. Let's start at the beginning. This is the first announcement on a local TV station in northeastern Ohio at a former Lordstown, Ohio GM manufacturing plant, which Foxconn now owns. Let's listen to this short report here.
There's been speculation about the future of Foxconn's Lordstown plant.
They hid all this development under false names and LLCs.
Good evening. I'm Lindsay Watson.
I'm Dave Sess. Now, the business plan calls for focusing on something little of us understand, but everyone believes is the next big thing. Senior reporter Jerry Ricciuti explains.
It appears work converting what had been an automobile fabricating and assembly plant in Lordstown into one that makes parts for AI data servers is moving along faster than many had thought.
What they don't mention
the chairman
here.
of Foxconn told reporters in Taiwan this morning the development has been moving in that direction for some time and had actually started more than half a year ago.
This really then allows them to fast track what their goals are.
Back in January, in his first full day back in office, President Donald Trump hinted at what might be coming.
But to announce the largest AI infrastructure project by far in history.
That day, the president brought together the heads of Oracle, OpenAI, and Japanese investment firm Softbank in a deal that could create thousands of jobs.
Together, these world-leading technology giants are,
of course, NVIDIA is also
announcing
involved.
The formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it.
Fast forward to this morning, and Foxconn chairman Young Liu told reporters the huge Lordstown facility is a very suitable location for their Stargate project, and that SoftBank executives who now own the plant feel the same way.
I think all those stars are among those that lined up very well for us.
I'm just going to pause this for a second. Now, here's two things they didn't tell you. First of all, this was all hidden under LLCs. No one knew what was going on. And it follows this announcement, actually. They also forget to mention that there's a data center involved here as well. Let's move on to the next video. And so there you go. The project was announced. This is part of project, one of 5 Project Stargate projects. This is a smaller, advanced project. But this Foxconn manufacturing facility is supposed to manufacture modular shipping containerized data racks with NVIDIA graphics cards in them for training for modular AI data centers. Now, here's another follow-up story on this. Let's just play this for a second.
An artificial intelligence infrastructure plan worth $500 billion. On Tuesday, what had been the GM complex in Lordstown and is now home to Foxconn was officially listed as part of it, and the work is already underway. First News senior reporter Jerry Ricciuti has the latest.
As that huge $500 billion artificial intelligence project known as Stargate continues to unfold, those behind it have now formally included the Valley's massive Foxconn facility in Lordstown as part of it.
6 million square feet
process that we think is
under roof at that Lordstown plant.
We are going to see substantial growth there.
In a release from Stargate founders OpenAI, Oracle, and the investment firm Softbank, the Lordstown facility is included among 5 new data centers across the country, indicating ground has already been broken for renovation, and it could be operational next year.
If there is a location that would be best suited for that, it would be at that area.
Now notice that they already, before they even announced it, if you heard the representative from Foxconn saying, we've already started work, before they even announced it, these guys are saying broken ground, taking steps. So this has all been hidden by use of Bristol LLC and other LLCs hiding the true nature of this project. Just now, this is the first mention of the data center. Before, it was just a Foxconn manufacturing plant Now it's an AI data center on the site as well. Let's just move on.
Paperwork has already been filed for the construction project with the Trumbull County Recorder's Office and the Ohio EPA.
Now, see, they filed the paperwork, but they started construction before they even filed the paperwork.
But Commissioner Rick Hernandez shared an email he received from Softbank stating what's being called a proof of concept data center will be located in Lordstown, but that's just one piece of a larger advanced manufacturing partnership that will anchor the company's long-term commitment in Ohio. While we've found work being done in the Foxconn parking lot, we've learned First Energy has already invested $30 million in its energy transmission system in Lordstown to ensure service can be maintained.
This is before any of the zoning or permits have been approved.
We knew that eventually an energy-intensive customer would need to fill that space, and we were ahead of the curve in terms of making sure that we had the electric infrastructure in place to support those needs.
In the meantime, Softbank officials say they will be sharing more of their plans soon.
We're still pledging to make sure that this community provides everything that Foxconn, SoftBank, and anybody else associated with Stargate needs to be successful here in the Mahoning Valley.
Jerry Ricciuti, WKBN 27 First News.
Okay, so you can already see this is unwinding here. Initially, all this was, again, hidden. Then it was said it was going to be a manufacturing plant. Then for modular AI units in cargo shipping containers by Foxconn. Now it includes a data center. And also, they've started construction, as you can see there. There's another plot way in the back there that they don't have access to, that where the data center is going to be, which I'm sure has already gone through site level. None of this has been approved by zoning yet. Okay, let's move on to the next report.
Information reported Thursday that the company will spend billions transforming the electric vehicle factory into a Stargate AI hub.
Ali Ross has more on what we're learning.
See, $3 billion they're going to spend at this location. And again, this is one of the early reports. It talks about how this was all a mystery. It was all hidden from the locality, exactly what was going on. They announced Stargate in Trump's office, but they did not announce this location.
From the report. Hi, Ali.
Hi, Derek and Madison. While this new information does largely align with what we've been reporting, it gives us a new layer of detail on SoftBank's plans for the facility. SoftBank's investment in its new Stargate facility in Lordstown is growing. The information reported Thursday, the company will spend up to $3 billion transforming the factory into an AI data center and manufacturing hub. The facility will reportedly be used to create modular data centers to be shipped to other data centers for OpenAI.
So this includes, for example, power, cooling, server racks, and that allows OpenAI to be able to move quickly to get the computing capacity that they need as soon as possible.
The data center on site will be...
Now, this is part of a PR move. What they're trying to do here is minimize this data center. Now, they're saying, this is going to be a small testing data center. I would add that, of course, they can expand. There's plenty of room to expand this data center at this site if they so choose at a later date. As well, when they make these containerized modular units for AI to be shipped and installed in data centers elsewhere, all of those have to be tested as well. As you heard earlier, the power supply company has already talked about how they've made arrangements to increase the power supply here. All of those units that are made have to be run and check for cold joints and so forth and QC. So actually, the manufacturing facility takes, it's like the same amount of power as running an AI center. So really what they got is two AI centers here. But anyway, now this, I was mistaken earlier. This was just let out, and I believe this is to sway the public. This is a PR move. It's OpenAI PR versus NIMBY. Okay, so let's just hear the rest of this. And by the way, $3 billion. Well, I did a full report on this, another video. I'll put a link here. It could go up to $52 billion here.
Small in scale, serving as a demonstration model of advanced tech. And it could play a role in OpenAI's long-term vision to sell computing capacity to others.
Maybe.
See, they're downplaying the size and scope of this data center, which may be true. However, when they started by saying Foxconn sold the plant to this unknown entity, then they said Foxconn was going to manufacture server racks there, and then, by the way, this is going to be all automated. I mean, robots are going to build everything. There's actually 1,500 robots existing in that old car plant as it is. Now they have the data center, okay? They're saying this is going to be a small demonstration data center, but, you know, doesn't take much to throw up a few more buildings, especially if you have the power.
A couple years down the line, there may be an opportunity for OpenAI to become like a Google competitor or Microsoft competitor in its own right by providing cloud services.
Foxconn and Softbank have not commented on the report. Lyle Huffman of
by providing cloud
let me
services.
play that back. So this is
maybe a couple years down the line, there may be an opportunity for OpenAI to become like
serving as a demonstration model of advanced tech. And it could play a role in OpenAI's long-term vision to sell computing capacity to others.
Maybe a couple years down the line, there may be an opportunity for OpenAI to become like a Google competitor or Microsoft competitor in its own right by providing cloud services.
Foxconn and Softbank have...
So, providing cloud services, you mean at Lordstown? They're not saying that. They're saying it's a demonstration center for OpenAI's cloud business. Could be. Anyway, the reason I bring this up, and they mentioned the power supply was there, and I don't know if this applies in this location, but now they're finally gathering statistics on the increase in local utility bills when an AI center moves in. 273% increase in electricity bills. And of course, there's water usage involved as well for cooling. I haven't seen any stats on that. I know there's a lot of well water around here, but I believe this plant has municipal water. But anyway, so they're soft selling this, trying to get the judge on their side, I believe.
Commented on the report. Lyle Huffman of the Youngstown-Warren Regional Chamber says if true, it signals a deepening level of confidence in what can be done in the region, which has the capacity and workforce to support projects tied to the future of technology. Work is already underway to transform the facility, and according to that report, Foxconn and Softbank should begin manufacturing those modular data center units early next year. With more local news, I'm Allie Ross.
This is a story about...
Okay, so... Here's, so, as you can see, they already started, all this stuff has been started, but...
Weeks of debate, Village Council took a final vote on whether to ban AI data centers within the village in Lordstown tonight. Good evening, I'm Lindsay Watson. After weeks of debate, Village Council took a final vote on whether to ban AI data centers within the village limits. First News reporter Alex Imwali was at tonight's meeting. He has our top story tonight at 11.
The motion is carried to adopt Ordinance 57-2025.
The Lordstown Village Council approved an ordinance to ban data centers in the village with a 6-0 vote Monday night.
It's for the reason the health, safety, and welfare of our village. This thing is something that I don't think is appropriate for us, and that is what I've been told by our residents, and I stand by that.
This was the third reading of the ordinance over the course of the last month.
So, just let me give you a little background on this. This is a ban on all data centers and crypto mining centers in this village of Lordstown, where this plant is, okay? So it's a blanket ban. There's no exceptions at this point. They have unanimously voted and with the support of the public there to ban these data centers. Now, here's the thing. This ban goes into effect on December 3, okay? OpenAI and Foxconn and so forth, Softbank, have started construction on that site. They don't have the permits approved yet, okay? They have filed incomplete permits, and you're going to see this in the following stories. And the county there has said, well, we're not going to accept them, okay, because they're incomplete. You got to refile them. You got to add this other information. So what we have is the city voted a ban that goes in December 3rd. These guys have started construction already without permits. Then they filed permits like a week ago. But the city solicitor in Lordstown is saying, look, your applications are incomplete. You don't have stormwater. Your plans go over one of our water mains and so forth. So they're refusing to review their permit application. So here's the rub. If they don't get their permit application approved by December 3, the ban is going to go into effect. All right, let's just finish this video. So there's a risk and by the way, I've seen figures as high as $52 billion for this site. And you heard OpenAI is putting a data center in there, and they're talking about doing cloud computing. You think that might be expanded into their first cloud computing site? I think that's a very real possibility. Anyway, as I said, 273% increase in power bills. And this city council, we have a NIMBY here. This is NIMBY, super NIMBY.
Month. In the meeting, residents expressed concern that a data center would use too much of the village's energy and water, raise bill payments, and cause a number of other complications.
If you're in favor of a ban on these data centers, please raise your hand so they can see. And look them in the eye and let them know, because they're going to vote tonight.
Late last month, Bristolville 25 Developer LLC sent a proposed plan for a new data center
That's
in Lordstown
OpenAI
to the
and
council.
Softbank.
Now, a lawyer representing the company says the council didn't follow the correct procedure to approve a zoning ordinance.
The statute requires 30 days notice and a public hearing. That means 30 days from now.
This is the timing issue. So this is the lawyer from Softbank. He is splitting hairs and, defining words. Sounds like Bill Clinton, right? I did not have relations with that girl. Anyway, he's making a case for Softbank saying that they filed the permits and the city doesn't want to see them. And the city, as I said, their rebuttal is, look, their filing is no good. It's incomplete. We told them to redo it. They don't want to redo it. So this guy, you're going to see, has filed a case with the Ohio Supreme Court. I'm sure this will go to the Supreme Court. We'll see if the citizens or big business prevail.
Now, theoretically providing notice at some point in the future. 30 days from then, you hold your public hearing.
Let's give him a shot at this.
The statute requires 30 days notice and a public hearing. That means 30 days from now, theoretically providing notice at some point in the future. 30 days from then,
he got till December 3, or he shut
then
up.
council can proceed to act on whatever zoning ordinance is in front of it. Obviously, that process wasn't followed here.
But Councilwoman Jessica Blank says this isn't a zoning ordinance.
We followed our advice of our solicitor, and to us it wasn't a zoning issue. It's more of an industry ban issue. We're banning the industry of data centers in the village.
The ordinance will block data centers like the one proposed by Bristolville 25 Developer LLC. The legal team representing the developer says it will work with its client to weigh its options with a proposed plan going forward. In Lordstown, Alex Mwali, WKBN 27 First News.
Now, here's the thing. That law firm has asked for a meeting with the solicitor and the city council to discuss this matter. They have stonewalled him. You heard her say, this is not a zoning regulation. This is an outright ban on these projects. Goes into effect December 3. The solicitor, the city solicitor, I don't know if I have a video of him here, He's like, hey, well, we aren't refusing to see their filing. It's incomplete. We told them. They're not redoing it. So now it's a double stonewall, and they're going to court. Now I want to show you. There are so many of these. Crescent Dune LLC, Bristol LLC. This is one of the problems with the way these data centers are going in now. I think, if the power is going to have to be reckoned with, I think these AI centers need to have a different approach to the power. But this was hidden behind these LLCs. Foxconn owned that plant. All this stuff, cheating like I don't know how. All this stuff was going on. They were reporting on it. The local news there. Nobody knew what was happening. And it was all hidden. And I remember reading, I go, who the hell is Crescent Dune? Who is Bristol LLC? What? Turns out this is Oracle, SoftBank, OpenAI. NVIDIA is involved. Microsoft is involved. Okay, it's my opinion, and what they're going to do is, again, this is going to be a manufacturing for modular AI units. It's going to be NVIDIA racks in shipping containers. They're going to build them in the auto plant. That could bring jobs to the area. It's going to help the economic development, but you got to realize that these are going to be built by robots, probably completely. I know that Foxconn has opened a plant in Texas where they're already doing this entirely with robots. So I'll tell you, the thing that they're slipping in, first it was all about manufacturing. Then they said, oh, by the by, we're going to put a small cutting edge data center in the back corner of the lot. Nobody's going to see it. It's way in the back where you can't see it. You know what I mean? And they don't worry about it. It's just a demonstration unit. As you can see, OpenAI has plans to sell cloud services. I think one could reasonably expect that to be expanded into a massive cloud, Amazon Web Services scale data farm. AI data center farm. And I think that is what this village is trying to head off. Despite the charm offensive and the legal offensive by OpenAI, okay, the filings this is, as you can see, documents shed light on potential expansion. So again, nobody knew what was going on here. The filings coincide with reports Thursday by the Tech News Service, the information in Reuters, that SoftBank plans to invest up to $3 billion. SoftBank is the Japanese venture firm in Lordstown to manufacture equipment for OpenAI's data centers. Again, they made no mention of the operating data center that coincides with this. Also, Crescent Dune, Bristol LLC is the one building the data center. Had they been up front with this locality, with this village, and let's face it, these guys have enough money. They could have told these villagers, they could have said, look, this is so small, I don't know, what is there, 10,000 people? Probably not even 10,000 people in this village. They could have said, look, we're gonna pay your extra power bills. It would have been zero expense to them. If you let us do this, we're gonna subsidize your power bills so that you don't have to pay anything extra for but they didn't do that, right? They don't want to set a legal precedent, obviously, for that. But anyway, just to give you an idea of how this started, this $3 billion number, as I said, I did research. It's up into the $50 billion. It's a lot of money. And also, I did a report here where I figured out what, this could represent like 5% of NVIDIA's expected production for the next 12 months. That was what would have been deployed in this data center. So there's a lot of big money here. And there's going to be construction jobs, and it's going to be a benefit to the community to have an AI data center close by. The operations, again, the plan is going to be robotic. The data center really doesn't employ a lot of people once it's built. And you've got a 273% increase likely in power bills and water. So, anyway, that's where we are. The city is absolutely, I mean, the village has said, this isn't a zoning, this is an outright ban, okay? Lordstown, not refusing data center plan, just waiting on documents. Again, this is the solicitor of this village, Lordstown, Ohio. Softbank says that the village is intentionally delaying the approval of their permits, but they've already started work, right? They didn't even have the permits. They're intentionally stalling the review of the permits so that this falls, that their approval falls past this December 3 drop dead date. December 3rd, all data centers are outlawed in the village. So they're saying, SoftBank's attorney is saying, well, OpenAI's attorney is saying, well, they're stalling. And the village is saying, no, we're not stalling. You just did not file correctly, okay? And there's a lot of different details to this, but that's basically the story. But you look here, Bristol 2025 Developer LLC and BHGH Properties LLC. There's so many LLCs involved here. This is all hidden. You know, there's Oracle, there's SoftBank, there's probably Microsoft is involved here, NVIDIA, you name it, OpenAI, okay? Now, again, they're saying the zoning office is not refusing to proceed with the site plan review. Instead, the village claims a conceptual plan submitted by Bristolville LLC on October 20 has numerous issues that are preventing village officials from moving forward in their standard site plan review process. So they're saying procedurally, and I bet they rushed this to get this stamped, you know, at the docket there saying that they submitted it, and I bet they did screw up the application. And, you know, like I said, they wanted to meet with the city and the solicitor. They told them, hey, you know, pound sand. No, we're not going to meet with you. So the village has dug in its heels, okay? And the developers started a charm offensive, talking about, you know, now they've upped it from $3 billion to $52 billion. There, you know, there's all kind of numbers being spewed around. An endless number of LLCs, BHGH LLC. This is a totally new one. Okay, so here's the developer, which is Bristolville LLC, which is SoftBank / Foxconn / OpenAI, takes fight over Lordstown Data Center to the Ohio Supreme Court. Okay. The petition asks the Ohio Supreme Court to compel the village to review the data center plans based on the zoning regulations that were in effect on the date of their original filing. Again, they got that stamped at the court, you know, filed on such and such a date to beat this December 3 deadline. It looks to me like they did a lousy job preparing those documents. The village is refusing them on a technicality, which they have a right to do. They told them, you got to go back and you got to correct this and you got to refile it. And of course, that would make them probably likely make them fall beyond the deadline. So they're taking it. OpenAI is taking it to the Ohio Supreme Court. I think whoever loses this decision is going to appeal this case. Okay. Possibly to the Supreme Court of the United States, okay? And then, you know, the village, I believe, is totally within their rights to declare a law that they're not going to allow these types of facilities in the land in their village. This has been done before about 8 times across the country. This is the first time this has happened with a Stargate project. And again, I have done another report on this. There are multiple billions of dollars involved here. Every major player in the build-out, the AI build-out, is involved here, okay? Apple, I believe, is involved here too. Of course, OpenAI. So, in my mind, this is a big deal. I think this certainly has not hit the national press. It's not gaining any attention. But, you know, this could start the NIMBY war. I said in one of my last videos, I have several videos on this, that Michael Burry might have seen this, and it may be his motivation for his short, because this is a crack in the dike, okay? And then, of course, here, Bristol LLC files the Supreme Court the lawsuit or motion to force the village to review the document. Not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. And now, Lordstown solicitor, he's a plucky guy. He's this young guy. I'll tell you what. He's going to run for governor after this. Lordstown asked Ohio Supreme Court to dismiss the data center case. So that is the village's response. The attorney for OpenAI said, well, let's talk. First of all, they lied about what they were going to do. They obfuscated, they hid everything. Then they misrepresented the project. Then they started construction before they had permits. Then they misfiled their permits. Then the village passed a law outlawing data centers completely. And now they've already started the project, and it's looking like it's going to court. They want to they're at loggerheads. How will this work out? This could be, this could be the first, what kind of headline would that be, right? Stargate, key Stargate, OpenAI Stargate project canceled. So I think that this is a story to watch. I have not seen anyone else mention it. Anyway, I hope this is making sense to you. It's a bit of a complex story. I have other videos on this. I'll put links in the description or whatever. Very interesting case. I think if it went to the Supreme Court, I think the village would win, right? Wouldn't they uphold the citizens' right? I don't know. Anyway, I think this is, like I say, the headline. One of 5 Stargate projects canceled by local community. OpenAI's, their Keystone, their Halo project canceled. OpenAI Foxconn Cloud AI project, Stargate project canceled. Imagine the headlines. Okay, this is MXUX.